Hey guys, it's Cream.
Wolverine is one of my favorite fictional characters of all time, on my personal superhero Mount Rushmore. And chances are, if you're watching this video, you probably feel similarly about Wolverine and the X-Men as a whole. And as an X-Men fan, I'm willing to bet that you have more than likely seen this image of Wolverine at some point before. After all, this image was only plastered on several pieces of merchandise from 2001 to 2003. But this was just one piece included in the collection of the primary art you'd see on X-Men merchandise at the time. Boulders, bags, shirts, toys, just about anything you can think of. And I think this image of Wolverine was most prevalent, certainly the one I think most of you would recognize. But where did this image and all the other X-Men merch art from this era come from? Who is the original artist? Well, that's what we are going to try to uncover today, so we can tie a name to the art that resides in a lot of deep childhood memories for many. But before we get into the investigation, I just want to let you know, stick around till the end of the video to see something that I have that is relevant to this whole mystery. So with the intro out of the way, let's start the hunt for the origins of this nostalgic X-Men promo art. Now, this whole suit design is associated with the Ultimate X-Men, which was an X-Men comic book series that ran from 01 to 09, so I figured that'd be a great place to start when trying to find the original artist. On Ultimate X-Men issue 1, the cover depicts a Wolverine design that has a pretty similar style to our Wolverine of interest. On the issue's Wikipedia page, it credits the art to artist Adam Kubert. On the issue's Marvel.com page, it credits Kubert as the penciler specifically, along with Art Dybert as the inker. Now, upon looking at these two names, I couldn't find any drawings that matched the promo art, or even the cover of this issue frankly. However, we will return to these two names a bit later. As I kept digging for more merchandise with this X-Men promo art on it, I came across this. A zip-up clip container featuring the same pose as the issue cover, but with a different suit and overall look. The identical suit to the other art featured on the merchandise. So obviously this was a little bit puzzling, but here's when I remembered that the website comicartfans.com exists. This is the website that helped us uncover that Dale Keown and Brian Hitch were the artists behind their respective works in the previous art video. And lo and behold, after a bit of searching, I found this. The same pose once again, but another alternate look. So now we have 3 versions of Wolverine in this same pose. This drawing was made by one Mike S. Miller and is titled Ultimate Wolverine Creative Services Art. And the description reads, Marvel hires artists to do work they can license out to Target, Walmart, whatever. I did a bunch of this art for the Ultimate X-Men line. This is the Wolverine, or one of them. Now obviously this is huge. He's stating here that this art was made to be licensed to retailers, but it's still not an exact match, so I had to check his profile deeper. When I did, I found so many other X-Men drawings with creative services art in the title and descriptions that stated similar things about how this art was created to be used on various pieces of merchandise. But the thing was, I literally was not finding any of this exact work on merchandise. Until I did. This Wolverine drawing by Miller is an exact match to this Wolverine drawing on this pin, dated 2003. And also, while not an exact match to a specific drawing, this shirt from 2001 and this die-cast car package from 03 has that same suit and style. So it's looking like these were in fact done by Mike S. Miller, but upon finding this pin, I discover something that made this whole ordeal a bit more complicated. The seller of this Wolverine pin also has two other Wolverine pins up for sale. This one, which matches the style and suit of the Wolverine that I showed in the beginning of the video, and this one, which seems to have a similar suit design, but it's still a little bit different. Eventually, I was able to find this drawing on other pieces of merch dated from 2002, this shirt, this motorcycle toy, and this lunchbox. Luckily, comicartfans.com was able to answer who the artist was of this Wolverine drawing for us as well. This Wolverine is a match to this drawing by Randy Green and Rick Ketchman. It even has a picture of the lunchbox in the description. Looking deeper into Green and Ketchman's X-Men merch art, you can find other sketches that are a match to the designs on the lunchbox, like Beast and Angel. You also got their Cyclops and Storm designs, which do align very closely with the Cyclops and Storm designs on this lunchbox. But the funny thing is, see this drawing of Storm? This Storm resembles Miller's much more, despite it being on the lunchbox with Green and Ketchman's sketches. It's also on this folder, which contains the Wolverine sketch from the beginning of the video, as well as an alternate Magneto that has the same style as Green and Ketchman's Magneto sketch. So what really looks to be going on here is that both parties' art was being used at the same time and on the same products simultaneously in some cases. You can see this on this Jiggle Head pen, where two different Wolverine suit designs share the packaging. Also, this backpack and other candy container suggest that Marvel may have wanted specific poses and had multiple artists do them, because here you can see the X symbol suit doing the Wolverine pose that this alternate suit is doing. However, this still leaves the question, if this is Miller's Wolverine, and this is Green and Ketchman's Wolverine, who did this one, with the alternate costume with that X symbol? Well, I honestly don't know. If we take a step back and look at things by year, we can see Miller's designs popping up in 2001 with these shirts. You can actually see his exact Mystique design on this one here. We didn't start to see Green and Ketchman's until 2002, as seen by these 2002 shirts. But 2002 is also when this Wolverine started popping up, as seen by this shirt here. It's entirely possible that one of the two parties did this Wolverine, but there are other artists that I'd like to bring into this conversation. The first is the two men that I mentioned in the beginning of the video, Adam Kubert and Art Thibert. Interestingly enough, on that 2002 shirt with the Green and Ketchman sketch, the tag features the exact Wolverine drawing from the cover of Ultimate X-Men issue 1. The shading is actually pretty similar to the drawing on the shirt, and there are subtle differences, so it's possible that perhaps one of these two guys just redrew the Green and Ketchman sketch, which resulted in the one on this shirt. So maybe the same sort of deal happened with this one. Another artist that I want to mention is Dale Keown, who is credited as the artist of Exiles Volume 5 Unnatural Instincts. Obviously, this Wolverine is much closer to the promo art than the others I've shown. Very similar suit and style, honestly. But then again, there are subtle differences, like the sizing of some of the costume parts and the facial hair. Doesn't mean he's 100% not the artist, but it is worth keeping in mind. And lastly, we have Ben and Ray Lai, who did this image of Wolverine. Costume match, but a very different style. Ben and Ray actually worked on some of the Ultimate X-Men comics alongside Kubert and other artists. So here's what I think is going on. Even though I haven't found one of the original sketches for the promo art featuring this specific Wolverine look, more than likely one of the artists mentioned in this video is the original sketcher. Miller, Green, Ketchman, Kubert, etc. And somewhere down the line, the sketch was redrawn, touched up, or modified in some way to be used on merchandise, because that happens a lot with this kind of thing. The original sketch almost always has slight differences compared to the actual art on the merchandise. But at the very least, we were able to find a good number of the original sketches that lined up perfectly with some of the merch art, and very likely names for the original artists of the ones we could not find. But there you have it, everyone, a look into the origin of this nostalgic 2000s X-Men merch promo art. I know it was a lot, and I hope it wasn't super confusing, but regardless, it was really fun looking into this whole thing, because this specific promo art is way less popular than, say, Scott Johnson's arts or the Spiderman 2002 art, so it was even more of a deep dive investigation. And in general, merch artists really get no recognition. It's very easy for their work to be remembered fondly, but their names to not be, as you saw in the previous art video. And no, I did not forget my promise in the intro of the video. Here is that thing I alluded to, a vintage X-Men 2003 shirt with the elusive Wolverine promo art, as well as who I can confirm is a Sabretooth drawing by Mike S. Miller. And yeah, this thing is really awesome. I love the Japanese graffiti-esque fonts, and maybe it doesn't show up well on camera, but it does glitter, which is just pure Y2K specialness. So with all that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and please be sure to tell me if you remember this art, or if you have anything with this art on it, and what you would like to see me cover in the future. So yeah, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Catch you in the next video. Peace.